Solar system. Surely in the course of study or in life you have heard about the solar system or the solar system. Have you ever wondered what the solar system is? How many planets are in the solar system? What is the solar system? If so, please refer to this video to get answers. The vast universe contains many mysteries and interesting things, causing many scientists to work hard to discover and learn them for hundreds of years. We are also one of the individuals living in the solar system, so let's explore interesting things about the solar system in the article below. The solar system, also known as the solar system, is a planetary system with the Sun in the center and other objects within the Sun's gravitational range. About 4.6 billion years ago they formed from the collapse of a giant molecular cloud. In the Milky Way there is only one solar system. Most of the objects will orbit the Sun, and the mass is mainly focused on planets with near-circular ellipses and orbital planes. How many planets does the solar system have? The solar system consists of the Sun and 9 planets orbiting it. There are 4 solid planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. There are 5 gaseous planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. In 1930, when Pluto was discovered, everyone heard that it was the 9th planet in the solar system. But in 1990 astronomers debated whether Pluto was a planet. In 2006, the International Astronomical Society called Pluto a dwarf planet and removed it from the list of real planets in the solar system. As a result, the solar system will have 8 planets except Pluto. Until now, astronomers have been searching for the existence of a real 9th planet in the solar system. On January 20, 2016, evidence of Planet 9 was found in 10 times the mass of Earth, more than 5,000 times the mass of Uranus. In addition to the planets, in the solar system between Jupiter and Mars, there is a ring with asteroids with a diameter of several tens of meters to several hundred kilometers. Each planet has between 1 and 22 satellites, except Mercury and Venus. There are also several comets in the solar system, including a solid nucleus containing dust and ice with a steam tail stretching millions of kilometers around the Sun in a very flat elliptic orbit. Origin of solar system formation. The solar system was formed and evolved around 4.6 billion years ago, caused by the gravitational collapse of the tiny part of the giant molecular cloud. At that time, most of the collapsed mass accumulated at the center and formed the Sun. The rest flattened out and formed a disk of pre-planetary dust clouds which then evolved gradually into planets, moons, asteroids and other asteroids in the solar system. How old is the solar system? So how old is the solar system so far? That is a concern for many people. Scientists have found the age of the solar system thanks to meteorites, pieces of space rock falling to Earth. Thanks to the Allende meteorite that fell to Earth in 1969 and scattered across Mexico, scientists have identified it as the oldest known asteroid, which is 4.55 billion years old. Explore planets in the solar system. Let's explore the interesting things of the 8 planets in our solar system. Here's an overview of the planets in order from the inside out. The Sun, the central star in the solar system. The Sun, also known as the Sun, is the star at the center of the solar system, accounting for about 99.86% of the mass of the solar system. Earth and other celestial bodies such as planets, asteroids, meteorites, comets, and dust orbit the Sun. The average distance between the Sun and Earth is approximately 149.6 million kilometers, so sunlight takes 8 minutes and 19 seconds to reach Earth. In 1 year, this distance varies from 147.1 million kilometers at periscope, around January 3, to as far as 152.1 million kilometers at the far point, around July 4. Solar energy in the form of light supports most life on Earth through photosynthesis and climate and weather control on Earth. The Sun's composition consists of hydrogen, helium, and a small amount of other elements, including iron, nickel, oxygen, silicon, sulfur, magnesium, carbon, neon, calcium, and chromium. The Sun has a G2V spectral grade. G2 means that it has a surface temperature of approximately 5,778 K, 5,505 degrees Celsius, which makes it white, and is usually yellow when viewed from the Earth's surface by atmospheric scattering. It is this scattering of light at the blue end limit of the spectrum that makes the sky blue. The solar spectrum contains ionizing lines and neutral metals as well as very weak hydrogen lines. V, Roman number 5, in the spectrosgraphic layer shows that the Sun, like most other stars, is a star of the main sequence. This means that it generates energy by synthesizing the nuclei of hydrogen nuclei into helium. There are more than 100 million G2 class stars in our Milky Way. Once considered a small and fairly mediocre star, the Sun is now 85% brighter than the stars in the Milky Way, most of which are red dwarfs. Basic parameters of the Sun. Distance to Earth, 149,600,000 kilometers. Surface temperature, 5,777 K. Radius, 695,700 kilometers. Weight, 1,989 E30 kilogram. Spectral type, G2V. Orbit, the center of the galaxy. 1. Mercury, the smallest planet. Mercury, whose English name is Mercury, is the closest planet to the Sun, and is only slightly larger than Earth's moon. Mercury is known by the ancient Romans and Greeks and is visible to the naked eye, has a radius of 2,347.7 kilometers, a mass of up to 3.3022 by 1,023 kilograms and a flattened sphere shape. Due to its proximity to the Sun, Mercury's daytime sun is heated by the Sun and reaches 450 degrees Celsius, 840 degrees Fahrenheit. But at night, the temperature drops to extremely low, sometimes negative to hundreds of degrees and below freezing. Mercury has almost no air to absorb the effects of meteorites, so its surface is pitted, and has many large craters, similar to the Moon. Mercury does not have the same weather transformation as other planets. As seen from Earth, Mercury has a social cycle in orbit of approximately 116 days, much faster than other planets. And Mercury has an inclined axis of the smallest type, about 1/30th of a degree, but has the largest orbital eccentricity. The basics of Mercury. Distance from the Sun, 0.39 astronomical units, 57.9 million kilometers. Orbital period, 87.96 Earth days. Self-spin cycle, 58.7 days. Weight, 3.3 x 1023 kilogram. Diameter, 4,878 kilometers. Surface temperature, -185 degrees Celsius to 425 degrees Celsius. Natural satellite. No. 2. Venus, the planet with the highest surface temperature. Mercury will be followed by Venus, which is an extremely hot planet and hotter than Mercury. With a very toxic atmosphere, and pressure on the surface of Venus will likely crush and kill you. Venus is similar in size and structure to Earth, but its very dense and toxic atmosphere holds heat in the out-of-control, greenhouse effect. Venus is a planet that rotates slowly and rotates in the opposite direction from most other planets. Venus is also known by the ancient Romans and Greeks and can be observed with the naked eye. And the Greeks have assumed that Venus consists of two different objects. One is the sky in the morning and the other is in the evening, and also causes many reports of unidentified flying objects. Venus has a radius of 6,051.8 kilometers and a mass of about 4,868 by 1,024, a rotation of 224.7 Earth days. The basics of Venus. Distance from the Sun, 0.723 astronomical units, 108.2 million kilometers. Orbital period, 224.68 Earth days. Self-rotation cycle, 243 days. Weight, 4.87 x 1024 kilogram. Diameter, 12,104 kilometers. Surface temperature, 467 degrees Celsius. Natural satellite. No. 3. Earth. Earth is the only planet with life. The third planet calculated from the Sun is Earth, which is the planet that we live on today. Earth is a water planet, with 2/3 of the planet covered by the ocean. It is the only planet where life exists. Earth has an atmosphere rich in nitrogen and oxygen to sustain life. The Earth's surface will orbit its axis on its own and have a speed of 467 meters per second, more than 1,000 miles per hour, 1,600 kilometers per hour, at the equator. Earth has a diameter of 12,760 kilometers, orbits 365.2564 days and orbits the Sun at a speed of 29 kilometers per second. Basic parameters about the Earth. Distance from the Sun, 1 astronomical unit, 149.6 million kilometers. Orbital period, 365.26 days. Self-rotation cycle, 24 hours. Weight, 5.98 x 1024 kg. Diameter, 12,756 km. Surface temperature, -13 degrees Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius. Natural satellite. The Moon. 4. Mars, the planet with the highest mountain. The fourth planet from the Sun is Mars, or the red planet, called Mars. The reason it has this name is based on the characteristics of Mars, which is iron oxide in the dirt that is abundantly present on the surface of the planet, thereby making its surface appear characteristic red. Mars is a rocky and very cold planet. It has similar features to Earth. There are rocky surface, mountains, valleys, and storm systems stretching from the location of dust-bearing tornadoes, dust storms engulfing the planet. On Mars, dust covers the surface, and Mars is also filled with frozen water. If Mars were to warm up, it would be filled with liquid water, even though it is now a cold and desert-like planet. Mars has an atmosphere too thin for liquid water to survive on the surface. However, scientists have suggested that ancient Mars had conditions for the existence of life and hope that signs of this life could survive on the red planet. Mars is also known by the ancient Romans and Greeks and is visible to the naked eye, with a diameter of 6,787 kilometers and an orbit of 687 Earth days. Basic information about Mars. Distance from the Sun, 1,524 astronomical units, 227.9 million kilometers. Orbital period, 686.98 Earth days. Self-film cycle, 24.6 hours. Weight, 6.42 x 1023 kg. Diameter, 6,787 kilometers. Surface temperature, -123 degrees Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius. Natural satellites, Phobos and Deimos. 5. Jupiter, the largest planet. Jupiter, known in English as Jupiter, is the fifth planet from the Sun. Jupiter is the largest planet in the Solar System, with an extremely large mass, and it is a gas giant, containing hydrogen and helium gases mainly. As a result of aerodynamic turbulence and interaction with border storms, the outer atmosphere appears with clouds at different heights. A prominent feature of Jupiter is the Great Red Spot, a giant storm that has been known and existed for at least hundreds of years. Jupiter has a very strong magnetic field, attracts many moons around it, looks like a miniature solar system. Jupiter is known by the ancient Romans and Greeks and is visible to the naked eye. It has a diameter of up to 139,822 kilometers, an orbit of 11.9 Earth years. Jupiter basics. Distance from the Sun, 5,203 astronomical units, 778.3 million kilometers. Orbital period, 11.86 Earth years. Self-film cycle, 9.84 hours. Weight, 1.9 x 1027 kg. Diameter, 142,796 kilometers. Surface temperature, -153 degrees Celsius. Natural satellites, 67 satellites. 6. Saturn, the planet with the largest ring. Saturn, whose English name is Saturn, is the sixth planet from the Sun, the second largest planet and the size and mass of only Jupiter, with a diameter of 120,500 kilometers and a mass of 5,684.6 x 1026, orbiting 29.5 Earth years. Saturn is a planet that contains hydrogen and helium mainly, and it also sucks up a lot of the surrounding moons. In early 1600, when Galileo Galilei first thought that Saturn consisted of three parts, Galileo Galilei saw a planet with a ring, a planet with a large satellite and two small satellites. But more than 40 years later, Christian Huygens discovered that it was a belt, not a satellite, as Galileo thought. Basic parameters about Saturn. Distance from the Sun, 9,536 astronomical units, 1,427 million kilometers. Orbital period, 29.45 Earth years. Self-film cycle, 10.2 hours. Weight, 5.69 x 1026 kg. Diameter, 120,660 kilometers. Surface temperature, -185 degrees Celsius. Natural satellites, 62 satellites. 7. Uranus, the planet with the largest inclined axis. Uranus, the English name Uranus, is the seventh planet from the Sun. Uranus is a unique planet. It is a gas giant, whose equator is perpendicular to its orbit and almost parallel to its orbital plane. Uranus is blue-green because of the amount of methane in the atmosphere. Its atmosphere has a basic composition mainly such as hydrogen and helium gas, in addition to containing volatile compounds such as water, ammonia, methane along with hydrocarbons. Uranus has the coldest atmosphere in the Solar System, with temperatures below 224 degrees Celsius, and it also has a ring system, a sphere, and natural satellites around it. Uranus was discovered by William Herschel in 1781 and has a diameter of 51,120 kilometers, an orbit of 84 Earth years. Uranus basic parameters: distance from the Sun, 19.18 astronomical units, 2,871 million kilometers. Orbital period, 84.07 Earth years. Self-film cycle, 17.9 hours. Weight, 8.68 x 1025 kg. Diameter, 51,118 kilometers. Surface temperature, -214 degrees Celsius. Natural satellites, 27 satellites. 8. Neptune, the planet with the coldest atmosphere. It is the last planet in the Solar System. It is known for its strong winds, faster than the speed of sound. It is located far away and cold. Neptune is 30 times farther away from the distance from Earth to the Sun. Neptune was discovered in 1846 and is the only planet discovered by mathematical calculation. French astronomer Alexis Bouvard has discovered its anomaly in Neptune's orbit and has suggested other astronomers could exert a gravitational pull. At the time, German astronomer Johann Galle used calculations to help identify Neptune by telescope and identify Neptune about 17 times larger than Earth. Neptune has a diameter of 49,530 kilometers and an orbit of 165 Earth years. Basic parameters about Neptune: distance from the Sun, 30.06 astronomical units, 4,497.1 million kilometers. Orbital period, 164.81 Earth years. Self-film cycle, 19.1 hours. Weight, 1.02 x 1026 kg. Diameter, 48,600 kilometers. Surface temperature, -225 degrees Celsius. Natural satellites, 14 satellites. Pluto, dwarf planet, the most distinctive dwarf planet. Pluto or Pluto is the second heaviest known dwarf planet in the Solar System and the 10th heaviest object directly orbiting the Sun. Once ranked as a planet, Pluto is now considered the largest member of a separate region known as the Kuiper Belt. Similar to other members of this belt, it consists mainly of ice and is quite small in size, approximately 1/5 the mass and 1/3 of the volume of the Earth's moon. Pluto has an orbit with a large eccentricity and is very inclined. The eccentricity makes it possible to have a distance of 30 to 49 astronomical units, 4.4 to 7.4 billion kilometers, from the Sun, so Pluto is sometimes closer to the Sun than Neptune. Pluto and its largest moon, Charon, are often considered a binary system because the center of their orbits is not in any object. Like Venus and Uranus, Pluto rotates in the opposite direction. Its self-spin cycle is -6, 387,230 days or -6 d09 h 17 meters 36s. From its discovery in 1930 until 2006, Pluto was still counted as the Solar System's 9th planet. However, in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, many objects similar to Pluto were discovered outside the Solar System, most notably the Eris scattered disk object, which is 27% larger than Pluto. On August 24, 2006, the International Astronomical Society defined planet for the first time. This definition does not include Pluto. It is reclassified by the International Astronomical Union as a member of the new type of dwarf planets along with Eris and Ceres. After being reclass-ranked, Pluto was added to the list of minor planets and identified by number 134,340. Some scientists still believe that it should be classified as a planet. Basic parameters about Pluto: distance from the Sun, 5.87 billion kilometers. Orbital period, 248 years. Weight, 12.5 x 1021 kg. Diameter, 2,390 kilometers. Surface temperature, -225 degrees Celsius. Natural satellites, Charon, Nix, Hydra and P4, Planet 9. It orbits the Sun and is 20 times farther away than Neptune's orbit, with a diameter of 49,530 kilometers, while the orbit of the ninth strange planet is about 600 times farther than the Sun's orbit from the star. Astronomers were unable to directly observe the ninth planet it observed because of its gravitational effect on other planets in the Kuiper Belt, an area located on the edge of the Solar System where frozen objects remain from the birth of the Sun and planets. Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin at the California Institute of Technology described evidence of the existence of Planet 9 in a study published in the Astronomical Journal. The study is based on mathematical models and computer simulations based on observations in 6 other Kuiper Belt objects that are smaller than the appropriate orbit in a similar matter. However, NASA now thinks that the existence of Planet 9 is hypothetical because no one has been able to observe it farther than other planets in the Solar System. In addition to the 8 main planets, the Solar System also has the existence of other planets. Beyond the icy giant Neptune, the Solar System extends as far as the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud. In 1992, the Kuiper Belt was recognized and has a width of 30 to 55 astronomical units. One of the most famous inhabitants of this belt is the dwarf planet Pluto. In addition, the belt contains billions of icy objects, the remaining fragments of the Solar System from the beginning. The Oort cloud is located on the far edge of the Solar System, although scientists have assumed it existed since the 1950s, but no one has yet observed it. Planetary type classification. Based on the characteristics of each planet in the Solar System, these planets are divided into 3 basic types of planets. Terrestrial planets. It consists of 4 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, called Earth planets, because it is similar to Earth. The surface of these planets is entirely rocky, has a dense metal core and is largely iron. Although Pluto is also characterized by a solid, and very cold, surface, it will never be classified as a planet Earth. Scientists have suggested that Mars and Venus could develop life just like our current Earth. Jupiter-like planet, Jovian planets. The other 4 planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, are classified as Jupiter-type planets, because they have similar characteristics to Jupiter, which is a gas giant, 3 to 10 times the size of Earth. The main component is not rocks or other solid matter, and they contain mainly hydrogen and helium gas. Dwarf planet. In addition to Pluto, there are other small objects in our solar system that are recognized as dwarf planets: Ceres, Eris, Makemake, Haumea and Sedna. Sedna has been discovered by some scientists, but has not been officially recognized by the IAU. These are planets with orbits around the Sun, massing large enough for their own gravity to overcome solid forces, creating a hydrostatic equilibrium shape. There are other objects in an uncleared orbit, not the natural satellite of a planet or other objects in the solar system. Here I shared with you about the interesting things in the solar system. Hopefully the above information will bring useful knowledge to you and help you see the mystery and attraction according to astronomy. If you find this video good and useful, share it with friends and relatives to explore the vast universe. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe to our channel.